What's good, everybody? It's your boy J Main, back checking in with the people, and today I wanted to give y'all my first impressions on No Man's Sky. Now, No Man's Sky, the game that people have been talking about for the past few years, the game that some people have been saying has been getting overhyped for the past few years, the game that's been at many E3 shows, the game that's been on many news sites, just the game that has been the center of attention for a while now. Now, the game finally came out last night, and I was able to put a couple hours in. If I had to guess, because I don't even know if the game has an hour tracker. I didn't see it anywhere. But if I had to guess, I put about 3 or 4 hours into the game. And I felt that was a good enough, amount of gameplay for me to get an idea of what's going on. Now, as I said in a previous video, on paper, this is usually not a game that I'm even checking for. This is usually not a game that I would probably like, this open world type of game, endless exploration. I have OCD, as I mentioned before, so you're telling me there's 18 quintillion planets to explore, and they're supposed to be different. I'm like, that doesn't bode well with me on paper, you know what I'm saying? But I put about 3 or 4 hours into the game, as I said, and I would have to say that I'm really actually enjoying the game. For starters, there was a couple videos that came out before the game came out. There was a video about exploration, there was a video about trade, there was a video about survival, and there was a video about fighting. And I have to say, like, the way that these videos have been coming out, the game is an accurate representation of what they've been showing us these past few years, and leading up to the release of the full game. You start off on a random planet. They literally drop you on a random planet and your ship has malfunctioned. Either it was a crash landing or something. I believe it was a crash landing. And you have to gather up resources and elements to build things to repair your ship. Now, this planet is random. Some people get toxic planets, some people get regular planets, some people get planets that are going through weather conditions. And what I thought was cool from the jump is that I had got a planet that had some cold weather conditions. So you have this protective suit that you have, and in order to keep it up, you have to gather resources to put within the suit protection. If not, then the conditions of the planet are gonna drain out the protective suit, and then later on it's gonna start draining out your life support, and eventually it'll kill you. So I thought that was a cool little twist for me to start off on a planet like that, because it gives you that survival feeling right from the jump. It stops becoming an exploration game. I mean, you still have to explore and find things, but it immediately, that survival instinct kicks in, and you're trying to gather up this stuff really fast. That way you can repair the ship and get off this planet. You know what I'm saying? So I did that, and but while exploring this planet, I was able to find some cool stuff. Like, they have outposts on these planets, and you go within these outposts and you can run into NPCs, which these people speak different languages depending on what planet you're on, and you might not understand a single word, but you can also learn languages through these like stone tablets that you run across, and you can start like to fill in pieces throughout your journey when they're talking. And even if you don't understand their language, you can still talk to them, and you can you get options to choose, like based on what you think they might have said, what your character thinks they might have said, or going off their body language. And you can get items from them, you can get information from them about the planet that you're on, and things like that. Also, there's these I don't even know what to call them right now. I forget the name, but basically it's like you go to this orange beam looking like device or whatever, and from there it's like 4 different options, and these options set you on a journey within that planet for you to explore, just different things in that planet. So each planet, long story short, each planet has its separate missions on it that you can do if you just want to stay there and explore the planet. But I didn't stay, like I said, I didn't stay on that planet for too long. I got up out of there and started to follow the actual center to the universe journey. And that's a whole nother separate thing. So you can spend time, I've heard of some people spending up 4, 5, 6 hours on that first planet, just going through all the the side stuff that they got going on in these individual planets. And as I'm going through these different planets, that stuff started to become repetitive. I started to see that stuff was happening over and over and over, and it seemed to kind of be the same formula, which is all right. But if you are looking for variety there, you probably won't find it there, at least for the 3 or 4 hours that I played. So I go up into space after I repair my ship, and this part is where it gets a little more in depth, because you can hyperdrive, which you're starting to travel much faster, and you get to these different galaxies, or you can travel fast just to get from planet to planet. And what happened was I ended up going to a planet, and then I was mining for resources, and I started to get these sentry bots onto me, and I left the planet. And when I left the planet, it told me that they were onto me. Basically, they were chasing after me. So they sent like a couple ships after me, and it was like 7 of them. So I'm in the air, I'm fighting the ships, and eventually I got killed. And so when you die, they basically take anything that you have on you within that, when you're in your ship or whatever. So and then they brought me back actually to, basically they bring you back to the last save point that you have. So you can either register the items you found at the save point, and when you die, you lose all that stuff and you go back to that save point. So I thought that was pretty dope, that it has that kind of Grand Theft Auto type effect where you can basically gather up a wanted level, and they will chase after you even when you leave the planet. So I thought that was cool. And yeah, so far, like the journey to the center, it seems to have some variety, because you're getting missions to go to these different planets, and you have to do different things. You have to talk to different NPCs, and even build up different objects and different items and stuff like that for your benefit. You know what I'm saying? So like I said before, the actual planet, each planet has kind of similar side missions, but there's also the main missions that you can do, and that'll have you bouncing from planet to planet, from galaxy to galaxy. You're kind of going all over the place, warping around and things like that. So I thought so far that the game it's been pretty good. It's not perfect. It's not a game that I should say, okay, for the price point, it's not a game that I feel is worth $60. But at the end of the day, value's in the eye of the beholder. So, or pocket of the beholder is what I like to say. It can eventually be worth $60. As of right now, I don't see it being worth $60, but that could change. You know what I'm saying? So I also feel like if this is a game that you've been looking at for a while and you can't, see anything that's interesting to you at all. Like I said, I wasn't, on paper, I'm usually not interested in these type of games, but I've been seeing so much, good things from the videos that I actually like, that it's something that I wanted to try out. So, but I feel like if it's not something that you're interested in already, then I don't think there was enough difference from what I've seen for me to suggest it to you if you haven't been interested in it already. So that's kind of been my first impression so far. I'm enjoying the game. Of course, I'm going to keep playing it, and I'll try and get a review out soon. I don't know how many hours I'm going to put into it before I do a review. I'm probably going to put more into it till it gets to a point where I feel like I know basically everything about the game. But then who knows if that's even possible with all the planets they say you can explore. So that's my first impressions, you know what I'm saying? If you got the game, let me know what you think about it in the comment section, and I'll check y'all out in my next video. All right, peace.